Bettina.
Here.
Councilman Phillips. Here. Councilman Casella.
Here.
Supervisor Cavazzini.
Here. In just a moment, I will ask you to join us in rising for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, followed by an invocation provided by our good friend, Pastor Nathan Robinson of the Chapel Falls Christian Fellowship. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's bow our heads. Almighty God, we thank you for the town of Wappingers, a wonderful and safe community that many call home. As our founding fathers began each meeting in prayer, we pray for our town board officials that you might grant them great wisdom and guidance as they consider the business of this town. May their labor here tonight bring great help and hope and quality of life to the families and businesses of this community as they consider the needs and opportunities of today and plan for tomorrow. May you also bless each of their family members and staff and grant to them a blessed future and eternal hope. In light of today's weather, may you watch over our highway departments and EMS services as they work to keep our roads and families safe. And may you also bring great comfort and hope to the families of Madison, Wisconsin, who have suffered unimaginable loss today. We ask this in the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. And as we continue to enter this beautiful holiday season, may the words of our friend Pastor Nathan Robinson continue to echo through this month as we continue to celebrate together the amazing events that our town's Parks and Recreation Department are putting together and come together with our families. So truly, truly a beautiful time. Folks, by way of background on this meeting, the town board called this special meeting to discuss a few end-of-year closing items, most importantly, the American Rescue Plan Fund allocation, which we'll be discussing here tonight. We will be having one discussion item this evening, and that will be on the allocation of the remaining ARPA funds. Just by way of background to the public and to the clerk's office, that will be a series, I would imagine, of floor votes and motions made by the town board to fund a variety of projects that have been deliberated and worked on over the past few weeks. We do have one item to discuss, which is the recycle center policy, which I would bring up at the end of the meeting under new business. So with that, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Oh.
Make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Moved by Councilwoman Bettina.
Second.
Second
Thank
by
you.
Councilman Beal.
Hey, everybody.
You left me in suspense there, folks.
I thought Chris did the second. That's okay.
Moved by Councilwoman Bettina, second by Councilman Beal. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Do I have a motion to acknowledge the minutes of the December 9th, 2024?
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you very much. On to discussions. The allocation of the remaining American Rescue Plan funds.
You asked, remember the public portion you asked me to
Thank you, Town Clerk Payloni. I did ask the Town Clerk to add a public portion to this agenda, if that is okay with the Town Board. Do I have a motion to add the public portion?
Move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Phillips, second by Councilman Beal. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to speak on agenda items, please state your name and address for the record. Okay. Just just offering courtesy.
Seeing none, I make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. The public portion is closed. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Moving on to our discussion item of American Rescue Plan funds. This town board, again, inherited $2,267,275.23 from the federal government. We have approved several projects over the course of this year, including replacing playground equipment that was close to 2-3 decades old at Fleetwood Park and Castle Point Park, authorized funding and the bids to move forward with the Schlothouse Park stage. We completed the nearly 20-year-long project of Inspiration Field, which is home to our Challenger League. We implemented Tyler Technology software, which has now gotten every town department on the same page, eliminating the silos that we set out to do. And we purchased 4 vehicles for the Buildings and Grounds Department to replace significant aging infrastructure in their fleet. To date, we have a remaining balance of $226,337.71 that remain to be allocated. I will open the floor to my colleagues, see if we have any recommendations to move forward.
I would make a motion that we purchase the 3 signs that we've discussed. We had talked about one on 9D, but Councilman Beal would like to do something different. So we had a price of $170,000 for those 3 signs, including the electric and the mason.
I second it.
So just on the question with respect to the electronic signs, we're going to make a modification on the one on South Avenue, which we are making efforts to connect that park to the village. So it only makes sense to, since we're connecting it literally to the village residential area, it's going to be a different type of sign, right? We don't want to be putting necessarily the same
Right.
type of sign there. I don't want to impact the existing quote, though, that we have for the other signs, which would be the Schlothouse Park locations, right?
Yep.
And
then-
Town Hall.
And there's a Town Hall option also.
Correct.
I do think that the Town Hall option, we should take a look at modifying it so that it doesn't necessarily create light pollution. You know, we have talked about the sign at the junior high, which has improved. I mean, it takes time for them to spec it out, spec the messages out so that it's less light and to dim it a little bit. But I think we want to also be sensitive to any inadvertent light pollution off the sign. That said, though, the sign we have in front of Town Hall right now is a backlit sign, so it actually gives probably off more light. But without affecting the quotes that you have, I will support this, but I just wanted to make sure that the folks understand that we are looking at each location individually based on the circumstances and based on locations of residential dwellings.
They assured me that it could be adjusted based on the preference of use.
And these are backlit, excuse me, these are
LED.
These are LED on black, right?
Correct.
And our intent is to create static messaging, not necessarily animated or, you know, anything of that nature. So we're keeping the conservative approach in mind as we move forward on this to allow for the integrity of the park that this is going to be placed in front of, the character of the park to be maintained.
And Councilman Phillips, were you able to relay some of those images that we had talked about?
Yeah, whatever on the order, whatever graphics you want to do on the banner across the top, that's up to the town board.
Well, not necessarily that banner there, but doing the frame around the ones at Schlothouse to replicate that
Well,
colonial
this
style.
is the way it comes.
Yeah, just like that.
Just
And
like
then
that.
There would be a base.
And we have,
correct?
we have a contractor
Stone
to do the stone base.
And then what about the peak?
There is no peak. This is the way it comes.
So there's no way to frame,
You can get a vendor to do that, but they're metal frames, so. And the graphics are based on whatever the town board decides.
the only thing I would say is, again, if we're changing the one at Schlothouse Park, would be to replicate what we had talked about, not necessarily doing a banner across the top, but replicating that colonial style that is currently out in the park now.
I'm sure you could find a vendor to do that.
As
Yeah,
long
you could
as it's a
probably
stipulation.
build that around
That's
that
exactly what
sign,
you're going to have to do.
right? And then you still have the banner to put the park name or something like that, or not the park name, but the town name. You could have the Schlothouse Brexel,
Yeah.
configuration around it. I'm sure it can be done. I would not want to hold up the funding based on the aesthetics, which I know we're going to receive input from, and I know we're going to work
Residents.
collectively to ensure that they meet our standard.
So one of the things, too, is the signs. If you take a look at Schlatthouse Park, there are 4x8s. We don't have to do a 4x8 by Town Hall. It's certainly larger, and of course, it would be less expensive. So that's something we should take a look at as well. Again, I know we probably want to have some consistency in Schlatthouse. Again, 4x8, so it would be replacing the same level sign, but Town Hall would probably be smaller as it is smaller today.
Yeah.
So again, we'll take all that into consideration. And you do save money. You save about $6,000 if you go to a smaller size, and depending on how small you make it. But again, we want to make sure it kind of conforms with the community.
The sign at Town Hall that exists right now is actually a repurposed sign.
From Houstonville,
It
right?
used to be the Houstonville Fire Department sign, which we moved here, and we built the base around it proportional to the space that's there. So whatever sign would be replacing that, obviously would have to be resized to fit the existing proportions.
Correct.
That's what I would say.
Again, I would support this as long as we continue to keep into account and front of mind the aesthetics and the characteristics of the town. And I believe everyone here has agreed with that, so given that, I believe you'd like to move forward with a vote at this time.
Yes.
We had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much.
And what I will say, just for the record, with respect to the Lewis Deal Trailhead location, yeah, I do still think there is a need for some identification as a town property there.
We took that into account when we approved the town park signage at the last meeting.
Okay.
Obviously, we'll talk offline about how you'd like that to look, but it was going to match the rest of the Greenway sign.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You and I talked about this on site. So, a greenway sign, something that's passive, something that identifies the park in a uniform way, because we want folks to know that this is an access point to the Greenway Trail. And we also want folks to know that this is named after a former town supervisor.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I'll share that mock-up with you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, I believe that wipes out the remaining balance of American.
So actually, what we're going to do, I think, with the remaining balance is we have about $56,000 left over. That'll go back into fund balance. We can appropriate that money towards either the parks at Spook Hill for the equipment there or the purchase of the property on 90, so we don't lose the money. So just want to make that very clear.
Would you like to, let's say, appropriate the remaining balance to Spook Hill Park? At least giving then the comptroller and I the authority to, yes, to execute that? Because we spoke about upgrading the basketball court at Spook Hill. We're also talking about the basketball court at Martz Field. I believe that in our conversations, Councilman, we were talking about a basic basketball court at Spook Hill that would not necessarily match the one at Martz. So I would be in favor of allocating the remainder to making sure that Spook Hill and Martz Field have the same quality facility.
Plus, I know Councilman Beal had wanted to put
Pavilion.
some sort of pavilion at some point over there, and if, like you said, if we just allocated any remaining funds towards either one of those two projects, that would create a fund balance with whatever funds. And
Does the board feel comfortable with that?
Yeah, again, my thought process on this was to use this funding wherever possible to do things that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do, which I think we have done that, and also in any way possible to bring people together. So putting the remaining funding into park projects, I would certainly support that. I do want a pavilion on the trailhead. I will get that pavilion, but we got to have all the information before we can approve that. So I would certainly, I'd be willing to make a motion to take the remaining fund balance and appropriate it for the purposes of improving parks.
I second that.
So we're going to put at the council point. Is that where we want to put it?
It can be whatever,
We'll decide.
Well, you
Yeah,
have to-
it's for,
No, but you have to allocate the money, so you have to have a PO in place, so.
yes, so that what we were making a motion for tonight was empowering the supervisor and the comptroller to then utilize that money without coming back to the town board. If, let's say, we received a quote for the pavilion at Reese Park, let's say, I don't know how much more we need to put in at Castle Point, but we need to put more in at Castle Point for the pavilion, whatever it may be, we can then execute that.
You even wanna-
Again, my only concern is that, we're piecemealing this thing, and I'd rather get a total cost of it. I understand we want to put money into the parks. It's not like we're going to lose the money if we so choose that we want to.
So in other words, to go forward, any remaining ARPA funds that, say the signs come in at 160, there's another 10, so it would give you $66,000. All those funds go against the property on 9D. That means those funds will then go into fund balance. So then you can use them
For
for
your,
whatever park.
that's
Yeah,
what-
it needs to be the signed PO, and we'll have that executed by the end of the year.
yeah, as long as we have a PO that's executed prior to December 31st, I have no objection, as long as it's being used for the purposes of park improvements.
And I seconded Councilman Beal's motion. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Moving along to our consent resolutions. Resolution 2024-223, resolution accepting the resignation of groundskeeper in the Buildings and Grounds Department. Resolution 2024-224, resolution awarding contract for Reese Cultural Center heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Do I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Move.
I think we need to have a discussion on Resolution 2024-224.
Okay, this is under the consent.
I get it.
Okay. Well, we have a motion. Do I have a second to at least entertain that?
I make the second.
Second by Councilman Phillips. Discussion. What are some of the concerns that you have with resolution?
So I don't have a problem with going out and getting the work done. What I have a problem with is that I think we need to, since it's over $35,000, we've got to go out to bid on that.
Well, I had some concerns that the signs that you folks ran with did not have a second quote.
Because they're under 35,000.
No,
Take a look at the job, take a look at the numbers now, $29,000.
The full job. Again, folks, we can't apply procurement policy to one thing and not apply it to another. We received 3 quotes for the Reese Cultural Center project.
Okay, I haven't seen them.
The acting supervisor of buildings and grounds, I think, offered them to you today. He went out and found 3 quotes,
Okay, I didn't see them today.
and he recommended and found the lowest bidder, and that's what was recommended.
Okay, if that's the lowest bid, I mean, it's a good price.
Where's this coming out of?
This is funded out of B fund balance.
your opinion, council?
So did we go out to bid? Did it go out to bid?
Yeah, we went out and found 3 quotes.
All right, but did it
3
go out
bids.
to bid? Was it published?
There was a scope of work that was drawn up, and we found 3 authorized individuals and qualified individuals to submit quotes and bids on it. No different than what we did with the Martsfield Vietnam War Memorial. We did the same exact thing there.
Like I said, I don't have a problem.
I have a concern, though, because this came up, that one individual wanted one company. And we went out and found that one company, or what we thought was that one company. They happened to get the bid. Come to find out, there's 2 companies with the same name,
They're not the same names.
close to the same name, Councilwoman.
That's right, close, but they're not the same names.
Okay.
Whatever.
But at the end of the day, 3 quotes went out. We obtained those 3 quotes, and that's what we came to this conclusion with here. I'm sorry, but I was not going to authorize an employee to come in on the weekend to then obtain a quote from who appeared to be a friend or a colleague or whoever it may be.
It's not a friend or a colleague, and let me be clear, this is a business in our town.
And
This isn't a friend, so
And-
please don't say that.
Well, Councilwoman,
This is a
if you had-
business.
Councilwoman, if
I
you
sent
had-
it to you 3 times.
and we went out and found that business, which happened to have a similar
No,
name.
Supervisor, that's not the case. I sent 3 times the name of this company.
Yes,
And you
that was
didn't
provided
get it
to the
right.
that was provided to the employee.
You did not get the name of the company right.
Well,
Well,
Councilwoman,
no, it's well
Councilwoman, we
nothing.
still found 3 quotes.
It doesn't
That does
matter,
not
so
mean just
don't
because
say that it was a friend.
Well, you feel
or
very
anything.
strongly about this,
Yes, it's a new
Councilwoman.
company. They're
Okay.
young, up-and-coming buck.
And
I
I wi-
want to help anybody that comes into this town.
And I wish that we had that opportunity.
I wish we did too, if you had read the email
I did
that
read the
sent.
email. Don't say that.
It
was also-
said folks' brothers 3 times.
Well, now you've named it publicly.
That's
So-
right.
But, okay, and so then there's Folks Home Services, folks.
Yes, but I
So
am
there was a-
strongly
there was a-
recommending that we go out to bid.
There was a
So everybody has,
miscommunication. There was a miscommunication in the department when they went out and sought these quotes. They went out and obtained 3 quotes, so it was not an intentional.
nobody said it was.
But now, again, Councilman, you were saying that we need to move forward with this, we need to move forward with this, and now we're going to delay the process
However,
months.
if we were supposed to go out to bid, we should have gone out to bid. That's what I'm saying.
Well, again, I love the selective enforcement.
Nobody's being selective. We're just saying,
So
it
what's-
didn't go out to bid.
What's the requirement now on this? It's 142,000. So what is the requirement for this work to get done? 'Cause I just want to get this done as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'd like to get it done too, but I want to do it properly.
Yeah, no, I just,
Right, so
where do we stand?
Your policy, which is consistent with the general municipal law, says a public work contract, 35,000 over, goes to formal bid pursuant to GML 103. That's an advertisement. So you advertise, and then you open your bids here. Just, that's your regular process. Bill, I'm in your,
Yeah, you're in the E-code, which absolutely makes sense, but
46.
I just love that now, Monday morning quarterbacking again.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is if it has to go to bid, it's
Yeah,
100.
but
then it's go to
again,
bid.
we had members of this town board advocating for one company at first, and they didn't mind going, just getting a formal quote or a bid. That was not brought up.
I will advocate for anybody in
I
this
will
town.
advocate for them too.
That's
but
right, so
I wanna
that's
make
why
sure
I
that
wanted
we're
to go
doing
out
this
to
the right
bid.
way.
And we are doing it the right way if we go out to bid
Moving forward
for
on all of this,
everybody.
on all
That's
of
right, that's fine. There should be no reason why we
But
don't.
again, the sign should be the same thing, not piecemealing one aspect of it. It should be the entire project. Should be the entire project.
So
And the
did we
sign-
get-
and the signs are under 35,000, add the numbers up.
The entire project was not. You're talking about an entire project. You don't get to selectively take out what you'd like.
There's 3 different quotes. There's one for the electric, there's one for the base, right?
For one project altogether.
Could go back, do it right.
That's fine. I don't have a problem doing that either. If it's the
That's all
right
I'm
thing to
getting
do, we might need to be transparent for everybody.
Well, the bottom line is we authorized to do this work at a previous meeting, right? So that's the mechanism to move forward on whatever procurement method is
The
appropriate.
policy.
So we're going to have to go out to bid on this. It's a $150,000 job. As much as I want to just pull the trigger and get this done, because right now is the time to get this done. And what we're referring to for folks that are just tuning in is the HVAC at Carnwath, which we need to get done.
Yes. And again, there were 3 bids obtained, just they were not publicly through BidNet advertised, but they went out to actually 6 different vendors, 6 different HVAC vendors and plumbing vendors to get these quotes. Sal was calling everyone he could, trying to get quotes. It was not like this was selectively enforced. He was trying to get as many people as he could. Is originally, we were talking about funding this out of ARPA. And of course, $100,000 of this is funded out of grant funding that we obtained.
So where do we go from here?
It should go out to bid, am I right, lead counsel?
Hey, that's what your law requires. If you have grant funding especially, I wouldn't want to see you jeopardize your grant funding. If they ask for your bid documents and you don't have them, then you're spending that money at a general fund. And if there's anything else, look, I didn't realize the signs didn't go out by RFP,
They should.
If I did, I would have told you that, to start, but.
Do we have to do that for the architect as well?
No, because we already went for prevailing wage for, not prevailing, we went out for bid to RFP for the stage and for acquiring Mr. Podgy. So that was already taken care of.
When's your next when's the organizational meeting? Because you came to business.
The 13th of January.
13th of
So when's
January.
the first meeting after that?
25th, 26th.
But I guess you could open bids at any time, right, Joe?
Yeah.
You could just have your bids sent here. You don't need a meeting to have them open, right?
No, we open them here or anywhere.
Okay.
But we, and whoever does it solicits them, we can't control it.
Okay.
So your recommendation, council, would be for the signs and for the Carnwath plumbing and HVAC to go out to bid. Okay.
Yeah, on your purchase contract, you have 25,000 and over for formal, so that's your signs would be a formal bid pursuant to GML 103, and then for your work, that's over 35,000. It's the same formal bid pursuant to GML 103. If you guys want to just send me the docs, I'll draw up the RFP and we'll get it onto BidNet.
Sounds good.
Thank you, council.
Thank you.
We should acknowledge that for the signs. Obviously, you've adopted a resolution, you're going to change course, and direct me to do that.
Would you,
So Jessica buys from the Equalis system.
Is that state bid?
Yeah, so they're on them.
If they're on,
if they're on state bid, then that's
okay,
fine.
then we don't have to go back on the signs.
We don't, correct?
No, not if you're on state. That's why you join the purchase,
Consortium.
Cooperative.
those
Yeah.
cooperatives.
All right, so on this HVAC job, we need to move forward with the bid process. What's the quickest way we can get this done?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to authorize council to draft RFP documents pursuant to what the acting supervisor of buildings and grounds has drawn up as a job scope of work for the HVAC installation at the Reese Cultural Center at Carnwath Farms.
Second.
What date, reasonable time to open these up?
Once you,
If they come in,
once you draw that up, we'll publish it and we can set however long we'd like.
Okay.
And then the clerk can open.
they have,
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
ones are earmarked, so that's good enough, as long as they're earmarked for the purpose of our.
right.
This isn't,
No, this isn't ARPA.
This is not
This
ARPA.
is not ARPA.
Yeah.
No.
It's a B fund anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't-
Right.
We're not encumbering anything. If this comes in
No.
post-January 1st, doesn't matter.
Right.
I thought the signs were still on there.
No, that's handled.
All right, do you guys have a motion?
Excuse me.
So moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Moving on to the non-consent agenda.
Did we approve 223 yet?
That was all in favor. Oh, okay, that was on the motion.
Did you get that, Joe?
So that was on the motion. So all in favor to adopt Resolution 2024-223.
I'll make the motion.
second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. The non-consent resolutions. Resolution adopting hearing officers' findings and recommendation of penalty in civil service law. Do I have a motion for discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Phillips, second by Councilwoman Bettina. Council has laid on the dais here today a slightly edited version of what is in the agenda packet. It's the same meat and bones that we would have in the agenda packet, but a little more condensed in a sense. So with that, if there's no further discussion on this topic, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the amended Resolution 2024-225.
I'll second.
Second.
Moved by Supervisor Cavazzini, second by Councilman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. The motion passes. I would like to bring up before we adjourn this evening, or this afternoon, under new business, the Recycle Center policy. We had a very good deliberation discussion to try to enforce some of the issues and concerns we have up at the Recycle Center, issues faced by both the Office of the Town Clerk and by the Highway Department. What we've seen here and what we've sent out via email to those on the dais and both departments is an updated policy that would essentially give our employees the discretion and the authority to enforce what they've been trying to do all along. This is a solid policy that limits abusers and supports our residents just trying to do the right thing. So, with that, I would ask that the town board entertain this draft policy and vote on it this evening.
So the only comment I have on this is, and I like the way it's written, I just want to make sure that we're very clear that the clerk's office has some discretion, so meaning Joe, Lori, Grace have some discretion on some of these, because again, there are extenuating circumstances sometimes, so as long as we take that into account, I support this.
Yep. And Section 8, you will see there several times it's mentioned that the town clerk, deputy town clerk, their designees, the superintendent of highways, the highway department employees, solid waste attendants and their designees, and the Dutchess County Sheriff's Office, depending on the situation, have the full authority and discretion to exercise the rules in this policy.
I think that this is some good work here. I appreciate the fact that we're now viewing this as a license agreement, which I think is the right way to do this. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
It is a privilege to use our recycle center. We have spent countless hours discussing gaps and vulnerabilities at the center. I appreciate the town clerk's office being flexible over the past X number of years with the changes that have been experimented. But at the end of the day, ultimately, I would say the arbiter of this is those that are selling the licenses and those that are the gatekeepers. Really, they are the boots on the ground. From a policy perspective, we do our best to approach this the right way, but we are not the ones that are dealing with individuals on a day-to-day basis. So I appreciate the information from the town clerk's office on what they are seeing. I appreciate the highway superintendent's perspective on this. And at the end of the day, I certainly agree with the authority and enforcement stipulation, but I don't want to see any level of conflict that can be de-escalated. Mm-hmm. Right? I understand there's some situations where you can't de-escalate, but I would appreciate if we can make every effort to de-escalate any potential conflict and handle this in a diplomatic way. And I know it's not going to happen every time, but we will be basically instituting some strict provisions here, and unfortunately there's a small percentage of folks that are not going to like this, so I'm just asking our employees to do their best to de-escalate, and if there is a conflict that cannot be resolved, I would say let's have a process and procedure in place where the next level up of supervision perhaps, and then the last level would be police contact, so that we can not have a major conflict either in our office or on the site out there. That said, I appreciate all the hard work that's been gone into this, and again, when people ask us what do we get for our tax dollars, yes, there's a nominal fee, but certainly the value you get from this recycle center is tangible, so I thank you.
Now, is this going to be posted on the town website? You're going to have
Yes.
it posted at your office window there?
Yes,
Just
this
so
will
that
be
people are aware.
posted on the town website. The pamphlet will be updated to reflect these changes as well, but this will be officially codified by the town board. So
Has the highway superintendent purchased the signs he needed?
He has not. We had a meeting out there today. We'll be making some site changes at the recycle center, but this will be
I
included.
think that would be helpful as people say, I don't know, I didn't know.
Well, every time that they purchase their license,
We know that.
they will get this, and I believe Deputy Town Clerk McConnell will be enforcing the gate a few times next year as well, so her presence there is also appreciated. But there will be some changes made for the better. Again, supporting our residents that do follow the rules and do the right thing out there, but those who abuse it, obviously, we can't keep subsidizing that. It's not what we do.
At the end of the day, this can be summed up in 3 words: no commercial use. That is the foundation of most of the problems here. Folks that present themselves as residents of the town to use this in a normal way are some of the same folks that are abusing this and using this for commercial purposes, and it costs us more and more each year to get rid of all of this junk. And it's certainly not something we want to put on the backs of every taxpayer in this town when folks are bringing construction materials, multiple times in a month to this facility. So I think this is going to really improve some of these issues that we're seeing, and I'd certainly be welcome to hear an update at the end of the first quarter, perhaps, where we can evaluate the changes.
And I do appreciate my colleagues' support on this. This is something that has been a long time coming, and I do appreciate your support on this.
So I will, if it's okay with the board, I'll make a motion that we adopt this new recycle center policy.
I'll second it.
Moved by Councilman Beal, second by Councilman Casella. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Motion passes. And Mr. Clerk, I believe the new licenses will be on sale this week? Tomorrow. Folks, they will be going on sale tomorrow, Tuesday, December 17th. Seeing no further business to come before the town board.
I just have one thing.
Of course.
Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, because we're not going to see you the rest of the year. So again, hopefully everybody gets an opportunity to spend with their families, enjoy, and again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
I think that goes for all the board members. And I want to give a shout out to the decorations in the town hall. If you haven't been here, it's very, very nice.
Thank you.
They've done a very nice job, so I'd like to thank the team, and may everybody have a blessed and happy and prosperous new year. So thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments.
I think Hanukkah also falls on
Yes,
December
Hanukkah.
25th this year also, so happy Hanukkah to our Jewish friends and those that celebrate other holidays. We wish you the best.
Exactly.
Yes,
Stay
very
safe.
Merry Christmas to all, and have a safe season.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. We will see everyone in our town's 150th year in 2025. If I could get a motion to adjourn the last meeting of the year.
And our next meeting is January 13th.
Yes.
So everybody is invited to come to this, so please.
All right.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Moved by Councilman Casella.
Second.
Second by Councilman Beal. All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.